The news in sports world is the Major League owners have made a proposal. Time is ticking on Major League to have the Owners and Players Association come to some form of agreement to get a season going. They're the only sports franchise or organization that hasn't really made progress towards restarting after the coronavirus pandemic, going back and forth. The owners with another proposal to the players. Here is what it consisted of. Starting on July 10th, ending September 27th, 76-game regular season. Postseason finishes at the end of October. Here's the important part. Players receive 75% of their prorated salaries, 50% guaranteed, 25% contingent on playoffs. As many as 16 playoff teams, no MLB draft pick compensation for signing players. Now, the playoff teams is important because that creates more money in the playoff pool. The players had a pretty quick response to it, and we can sum it up in a tweet by Andrew McCutcheon, LOL. So that's where we stand with the players and the owners. They can't seem to get on the same page. And a lot of times you hear it's not about the money. In this instance, it is all about the money. Let's welcome in Ken Carman, 92.3 The Fan. Ken, what do you make of this?
I wish they'd come together on some sort of a deal. I tell you that. I thought 76 games looked to be pretty good. Now the prorated stuff and everything like that seems to be a bit off. But I thought it seemed to be a pretty decent enough deal, but again, I'm not a player, so there's a lot of ins and outs and everything like that I'm not really familiar with. But I usually think I'm like a lot of sports fans. I see 76 games and I go, okay, July 10th, that's a month from now. September 27th, okay, October, that might be kind of fun. But when you bring in the money and when you bring the money issue into it, I think a lot of players are going to be upset. The problem that you really have, though, Dave, is that you have the money issue with the players, and over these last couple of weeks, the players have done a lot to make themselves look really, really good, and a lot of good things are happening. You know, David Price he paid the salary for the month for the Dodgers minor leaguers and things like that. The owners look bad, but one of the things that have been bothering me so much, and I've said this on multiple shows, is that they want to turn fans against the owners, and the fans want to turn fans against the players, where really I think fans are upset at both. You know, a lot of people have a boss. A lot of people do. So they understand that, yeah, they've had to take hits, and maybe players need to take hits. And I think a lot of people are looking at some of the other sports like NASCAR and NHL and certainly the NBA, where the NBA had no reason to play, really. I mean, they had 90% of their salary already, and they're all back. They're all getting ready to come. Either they're back or getting ready to come back, where Major League Baseball is still in a fight. And it's historical, obviously, because we've gone through this before with the players and the owners, but this is different because of what's happened over the last couple of months.
The other thing that it appears is, you know, they were talking about a 50 to 60 game thing with 100%. Now it's 76 games with 75%. The owners have taken everything into account, and they know they're going to lose money this year. So the owners are saying this is the amount of money we're willing to lose this season. And the players are looking at it and saying, we had an agreement with our salary. So I kind of get both sides, but I think in the end, you can't really sympathize with either of them.
No, and I could see where a player comes off and goes, wait a minute, I've already taken my hit. And if you're willing to meet at 50 to 60, then why can't you meet the 76 when it comes to the entire amount of money? You know, the owners, when I say you guys, the owners are the ones that put out the 76 game number. If you're willing to put out the 76 game number, we're talking 16 more games. Now, I know that I can just say, well, that's 16 more games, you should be able to do it. No, there's a bottom line there, and I'm sure there's a significant amount of money that comes out. But what is so bothersome to it is that if they know they've already taken the hit, are you doing this just to really get out there in the public with the fan base, or are you really making a good faith gesture to put the best idea out there to bring back baseball, to put something with your fans? You know, John Heyman brought up something earlier today on our show, and I was a little bit surprised because I should have known. Maybe I did hear of it before, but I didn't remember. Where I guess Rob Manfred has the power. He can just say, I can make you guys play. You're going to play. Everybody's going to play. Now they can just say they're not going to play and not collect a paycheck. But I thought that was a little bit nuts, if you ask me. John Heyman still seemed to be 95% sure that they would play. This seems to be a decent proposal, but I can understand the players kind of holding out for a little bit more. You've already taken it this far. I just hope they don't go that much further with it.
Well, the other thing is their collective bargaining agreement ends in another year. So if you don't have a season this year, or Rob Manfred forces the players to play under those terms, there's just going to be that much more trouble when you try to get another collective that's just going to be another notch in the negotiating when they try to come to a collective bargaining agreement coming up at the end of next year.
Yeah, that scares me. That scares me the most out of all of this, and not a lot of people paid attention because we want to see baseball now, and we want to see some live sports now. Gamblers want to bet. I just want to enjoy some baseball. I want to see the Indians play. I want to see Francisco Lindor play a little bit longer in an Indians uniform. And I think that that's the scary thing that I see, is that this could very well bleed right over into 2021. We're talking about long-term deals here that could be affected because of what's going on right here. Now, I'm an advocate for a salary cap and a salary floor. I know that that's a pipe dream.
Wow.
But I've long-term been an advocate for it. So I've had to kind of eat some words here where I thought before the season started, before the whole COVID thing, before this all happened, I said, man, in 2021, I'd be willing to sit out an entire year of baseball, make it nasty, and try to get a floor and a cap so I don't have to sit there and watch guys like Francisco Lindor, or I don't have to accept guys like Francisco Lindor leaving for a bigger market and more money. And I didn't foresee this happening, so maybe I get my way, but this is an ugly way to get your way. And I still don't even think I'll get my way. I still think that that's something that I'll probably never see in my lifetime, more than likely.
That was actually my follow-up question. If it meant
right.
No baseball this year, no baseball next year, but we come back with a salary cap, because at some point in time, players are going to have to get salary and revenue in their pockets. Would you be willing to do that? No baseball for a year and a half, but coming back, everybody's equal. You get the revenue sharing, you get the salary cap, so that teams like the Dodgers, Red Sox can't outspend their mistakes.
It seems like I'd be un-American if I said yes right now. At the beginning of the year, before the COVID-19, just scariness and everything that went down with it, I was so for it. I was so, let's come back in 2021 and let's push this back as far as we can. Now, it just seems like, man, you got so many people that are hurting. And I know some people are starting to get back to work, but it's going to be a slow process. You know, we don't know when the economy is eventually going to fully bounce back, if it's going to fully bounce back. And so what sports does is that at least gives us some sort of an escape for a little bit of time. And I think that I felt it on our phones. I think I felt it on our tweets. I think that you guys have probably felt it as well, you and Les, that, man, people want to see baseball. They don't want to sit there and hear about the legal wranglings of millionaires arguing with billionaires. They want to see their sports. So in any other year, I would be steadfast and say this is best for the health of pro sports. This is best for the health of baseball. This is best to help out fans in Kansas City, even though they've already cashed in, fans in Pittsburgh, fans in Cleveland, etc. But now, with what's going on, I really have no leg to stand on because of everything.
Last thing I'll ask you on this topic. Has Major League Baseball messed up a terrific opportunity? Because, you know, if they would have their ducks in a row, they could have been first. You don't have to be the best necessarily as far as getting this started again. But if you're the first, look at the numbers for stuff like, you know, the golf and even NASCAR is getting a rebirth in the numbers. I think baseball is missing an opportunity by not getting to play before the other sports start.
NASCAR's had some of the highest numbers they had since the Daytona 500. And that was like from 3 years ago on video game racing, on iRacing. I mean, that's how much people want to see live sports. I think so far they have. There is a chance they can get that done, though. If they get a deal done, think about what could happen in the fall. You have a Masters redo in November. You have a Masters redo coming up in the fall. You have the NFL. You'll have probably most of a college football season or a major college football season, which hurts me as an Akron fan, but we'll talk about that at some other juncture. And then you have the NBA, which will crown a champion, then move on into an offseason, and the NHL Finals. And those are 6 things. Those are 6 things right there that you can think of. You can be a part of that. What makes postseason baseball so great is what usually fair weather fans argue about in the regular season. You can make that great, be a part of it, be a part of a rebirth of professional sports, make Americans feel better about what's going on, or at least give them a little bit of an escape from what's going on. And right now, yes, but it's not completely ruined just yet.